It's the story of the day, but there's a lot of stories, but this was the biggie. We've been talking about it for over a year, and now it finally goes down, despite Pete Carroll telling us just a few days ago they're not trading Russell Wilson. Guess what? The Seattle Seahawks did indeed trade Russell Wilson today to the Denver Broncos. Now, Denver, of course, was looking for a quarterback. They had their eye on Aaron Rodgers and on Russell Wilson. They end up with Wilson, and they gave up a haul for him. Seattle ends up getting Drew Lock, the so-so quarterback out there in Denver, tight end Noah Fant, who's promising, defensive lineman Shelby Harris, another starter, 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and a 5th-round pick for Russell Wilson, and a 4th-round draft pick. Rob Parker, your thoughts?
First, I want to say I told you that was the best thing for Seattle to do. That they had too many holes.
You told me.
Yeah, that it didn't make sense to keep
mean?
them. No, it didn't make sense to keep them. That you had to make a trade.
You saying that like that was definitively the right thing to do.
It was.
That's still just your opinion.
No, I know, but your opinion was to get rid of Pete Carroll, and I was like, no, it ain't Pete Carroll.
My opinion was correct.
No, it wasn't. Your opinion was wrong because because ownership did what I said. Because,
that's
because
fine.
they weren't going to win.
Right.
Because they weren't going to win just by having Russell
win
Wilson
every year.
No, they weren't going to win by just the team was too many holes, too many things needed to be fixed. So they made the right decision, and they did what they were supposed to do. They got a haul to reestablish that team, to rebuild it. I love what Seattle did. Doesn't mean that Russell Wilson's a bum or he can't play. And Denver just believes that they have what they need. And all they need is a quarterback, so they gave up everything. And with the idea, maybe they think they're the Rams and they can just win a Super Bowl because they feel like they're that close and they're willing to give up draft picks down the road. And if you can win a Super Bowl by doing that, then you did the right thing. But I'm just saying, Seattle did the right thing. You don't give away a quarterback like a Russell Wilson. You make sure you get a haul that's going to help reestablish your franchise. And they decided to stick with Pete Carroll and what he's doing and go forward. I think everybody wins in this. Russell Wilson had been belly aching about Seattle and wanting to move on, and I think it's the right decision. I think it was smart.
The Seattle Seahawks let the wrong man go. If it was really a case of Russell or Pete, then Pete should be packing his bags. All right, because Russell Wilson is the one who's synonymous with their winning. Pete Carroll was there before Russell Wilson, wasn't winning anything. Pete Carroll was in the NFL before Russell Wilson, wasn't winning anything. I'm not talking about USC. I'm not talking about college. I'm talking about the pros. And I just don't agree with giving. They did get a haul. I'll give you that. They got a lot. We'll see what they do with it. But I don't agree with giving up a Hall of Fame quarterback who's still in his prime, got a lot of good years left in him. Because guess what they're going to try to get with all those draft picks? Another Russell Wilson. That's what they're going to try to do. And this notion that they're horrible, I'm not saying they didn't have work to do, but this is the first year or the second in Wilson's tenure that they didn't make the playoffs. And that was in some part, at least in large part, because he was injured. But they won 12 games a year ago, or 2 seasons ago, 11 the year before, 10, 9, 10, 10, 12, 13 in a Super Bowl, 11. Just because they didn't win more than one Super Bowl doesn't mean it wasn't a successful run. What you want, very, very few teams win more than one Super Bowl in a decade. But you want sustained relevancy. You want sustained playoff runs where year in, year out, you're one of those teams we're talking about. You're one of those teams that has a chance. And that's where Seattle was with Russell Wilson. We'll see where they go from here. No guarantee with all those draft picks that they'll get back to that. I think they would have been that with Russell, but that's fine. I like it. Even though I don't think it was the right move, I like it because it makes things even more interesting. And Denver now is going to be a force to be reckoned with. Not predicting that they win the AFC next year. It's going to be tough. AFC is no joke. But they have one of the top defenses in the league. Third in scoring defense. Love this young running back, Javonte Williams. Nice receiving core. They lose Font, Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton there. They got a nice squad. And so we'll see what Russell can do with it. But that division is going to be fireworks, the AFC West, Rob. Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, Derek Carr, and Justin Herbert. That's going to be something else, man. So hey, I'm happy because it's more exciting, even if I disagree with Seattle's move.
Yeah, I think Seattle just decided that it's time to make a move, especially when you have a quarterback who was belly aching about being there. And I just think at some point you gotta move on. It's okay. A lot of great quarterbacks have finished their careers elsewhere. We talk about it all the time. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Brett Favre. It's the nature of the game, so it does happen more so than not. But I think Seattle did the right thing here in moving forward. They don't have, Chris, you're right. They did in the past, had a good team and were able to win. I don't feel the same way that you felt about them, that they were just going to bounce back. And I think that's why they eventually decided to move forward. And if you can get a haul, it's hard to get trades in the NFL where you really get a haul. And they got one. Now, you're right. Will they be looking for a quarterback? Sure they will. There's no guarantee, but you never know. You could wind up finding a quarterback or a situation to get a stopgap until you can draft that guy. But I love what Seattle did.
What are your thoughts on Denver? I mean, obviously that AFC is tough. Heck, their division.
Well, they just felt like tough. They had no choice in that they had no quarterback, and in that division with all the teams, without having a quarterback, they weren't going to be able to compete, no matter how good their defense was. And it was good. It didn't get them to the playoffs. That tells you that you needed a little bit more. And in that division with all those other quarterbacks and gunslingers, now they could at least compete there. It doesn't give them the division by any stretch of the imagination. They still might not make the playoffs.
Oh, no, because Kansas City is, arguably the best team in the AFC. So, yeah, they still got a lot of work to do, but they were tough last year. A tough 7-10, if you can say that. But they didn't have a quarterback. Teddy Bridgewater, so-so. Drew Lock, so-so. And now they'll have Russell Wilson. So it's on Russ now, Rob. You got the defense. You got some receivers. He's had receivers. And you got a running game, and they've had a running game. What they didn't really have lately in Seattle was the defense. And now they'll have that, and we'll see if indeed they let Russ cook in Denver. All right.